R.A.Obliges Bozoma St. John brands Kyle Richards the most two-faced cast member. Bozoma St. John has been a breath of fresh air on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 14. After years of failed casting auditions, it's clear she has staying power and will be with the Bravo hit for the years to come. There's so much storyline potential because she's unafraid to speak her mind, which has earned her the ire of Garcelle Beauvais and Kyle Richards. Bozoma came into the season with minimal connections to the cast, but carved out a surprising bond with Dorit Kemsley. Bozoma understood a lot was happening between Dorit and the other ladies, but the pair clicked from the get-go despite certain cast members trying to turn her against her newfound friend. During a recent Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen appearance, Bozoma was put in the hot seat to play a game that promised juicy intel about how she feels about her co-stars. It's no surprise that she said Kyle's name when she was asked which cast member was the most two-faced. Kyle has had a rough season on RHOBH. Kyle isn't having the best season, and many believe she's struggling with her crumbling reign as the group's queen bee. Kyle is being held accountable for her actions for the first time in a long time. Previously, she could shift the blame and the conversation because she had control of certain situations. Although Bozoma hasn't been immersed in much drama throughout RHOB Season 14, she fits into the cast like a glove, thanks to her commentary and impressive accomplishments. However, there have been questions about whether she'll walk away from RHOBH after a single season, following a recent social media post in which she said she quit, something she had been working on over the last year. Has Bozoma St. John already quit RHOBH? There's no official confirmation that this was related to RHOBH, but it could be linked to the myriad business endeavors in which Bozoma is involved. It's hard to imagine her revealing her exit from RHOBH as the season is airing because that would likely go against the ironclad NDAs the cast signed to get on the show in the first place. However, things could change in the final episodes of the season, which could indicate why Bozoma may want to leave the reality series after a one-season stint. All we can do is tune into the series as it airs for answers, but we're sure Kyle will fire back about being dubbed the most two-faced cast member by Bozoma. Kyle famously quit filming for a week after a spa day that resulted in her in a screaming match with her co-stars. Bozoma St. John's arrival on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills has been nothing short of seismic. With her background as a global marketing executive and her undeniable charisma, Bozoma has quickly become a fan favorite. But this week, she's turned heads for a different reason: her bold declaration that Kyle Richards is the most two-faced cast member on the show. The drama began during a glamorous charity event at Dorit Kemsley's mansion, where the ladies gathered to celebrate an opulent evening of fundraising for underprivileged youth. Bozoma, stunning in a metallic silver gown that sparkled as brightly as her personality, was mingling effortlessly with the crowd. Yet it wasn't long before she started noticing the cracks beneath the surface of the glittering Beverly Hills facade. Kyle has this way of making you feel like you're the only person in the room, Bozoma confided during her confessional, her expression a mix of exasperation and disbelief. But the second you're not looking, she's already whispering about you to someone else. It's exhausting trying to figure out which version of Kyle you're going to get. The tension between Bozoma and Kyle had been simmering for weeks, but it boiled over when a heated game of truth or dare exposed some long-hidden grievances. It was Garcelle Beauvais who initiated the game, perhaps sensing an opportunity to bring unresolved issues to the surface. When it was Bozoma's turn to answer a truth question, Sutton Strack, with her signature Southern charm, asked, "Who do you think is the least trustworthy person in this group?" Without missing a beat, Bozoma responded, "Kyle." The room fell silent, save for the audible gasp from Erica Jane, who immediately leaned forward in her chair, eyes sparkling with interest. Kyle, visibly taken aback, plastered on a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. "Wow, that's a strong statement," she said, her tone dripping with fox nonchalance. "Care to elaborate?" "You're good at playing the victim when it suits you," Bozoma replied coolly, her voice steady despite the rising tension. "But behind the scenes, you're always stirring the pot. It's like you want to control the narrative, but you don't want to own up to the chaos you create." Kyle's face hardened. That's a pretty big accusation coming from someone who's only been here for 5 minutes, she shot back, her voice tinged with indignation. You don't know the history. You don't know what I've been through with these women. You're right, I don't know the history, Bozoma admitted. But I do know that actions speak louder than words, and what I've seen is someone who smiles to your face and then turns around to undermine you. The conversation quickly spiraled into a heated argument, with other cast members chiming in. Dorrit attempted to mediate, insisting that everyone take a deep breath, while Sutton sipped her champagne and muttered, "This is why I don't play games at dinner parties." In her confessional, Kyle doubled down on her outrage. Bozoma's comments were completely out of line, she said, her voice quivering with emotion. "I've been nothing but welcoming to her, and this is how she repays me? It's like she came in with a vendetta." But Bozoma had her own perspective. "I didn't come here to play nice for the cameras," she stated firmly in her confessional. "If Kyle's upset that I'm calling her out, maybe she should take a look in the mirror instead of pointing fingers at everyone else." The fallout from the evening extended well beyond Dorrit's mansion. Social media exploded with reactions as fans took sides in the burgeoning feud. On Twitter, the hashtag #2faced Kyle began trending, with users debating whether Bozoma's assessment was fair or if she was overstepping her bounds as the new girl. Bozoma is a breath of fresh air. Finally, someone who's not afraid to call Kyle out on her BS, one user tweeted. "Who does Bozoma think she is? Kyle's the OG of Beverly Hills. Show some respect," countered another. Back on the show, the drama escalated when Kyle attempted to confront Bozoma during a lunch at Lisa Rinna's newly redecorated home. The tension was palpable as the two sat across from each other, their smiles tight and their words sharper than the designer knives on Lisa's marble countertop. "I just don't understand why you felt the need to attack me in front of everyone," Kyle began, her voice tinged with hurt. "If you had an issue with me, why not come to me privately?" Bozoma didn't flinch. "Because the way you act in public is the issue, Kyle," she replied. "I'm not going to sugarcoat things for the sake of appearances. If I see something, I'm going to say something. That's just who I am." Lisa, ever the pot stirrer, couldn't resist chiming in. "Well, it's true that Kyle does have a tendency to, embellish things sometimes," she said, her eyes darting mischievously between the two women. "But that's part of her charm, isn't it?" Kyle shot Lisa a withering look, not helping Rinna. As the lunch ended in yet another unresolved conflict, it became clear that Bozoma's presence had shaken up the dynamics of the group. Her willingness to speak her mind, no matter the consequences, was both refreshing and polarizing, while some cast members, like Garcelle and Sutton, seemed to appreciate her candor. Others, including Kyle and Erica, were clearly less enthused. "She's coming in hot, and I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing," Erica remarked during her confessional, a sly smile playing on her lips. "But one thing's for sure. Bozoma isn't here to play second fiddle to anyone." As the season progresses, the feud between Bozoma and Kyle promises to be one of the central storylines, with fans eagerly tuning in to see who will come out on top. Will Kyle manage to repair her fractured relationships and reclaim her status as the queen bee of Beverly Hills? Or will Bozoma's unfiltered approach expose cracks in Kyle's carefully curated image? One thing is certain, in the world of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, loyalty is a rare commodity, and alliances can shift as quickly as the California tides. For now, all eyes are on Bozoma and Kyle as they navigate the treacherous waters of reality TV stardom, where the only thing more dangerous than a sharp tongue is a sharper betrayal.